This is an 18-minute video of skiing at Craigieburn in 1952 and 53, with a small amount of summer activity in between. The film used was a handheld UMEG camera running 8mm film. I'll describe a typical weekend of skiing at Craigieburn, which would start with about 20 to 40 members meeting at 7 p.m. on a Friday night at 116 Chewham Street, and transport was arranged by carpooling or on a local carrier's truck. The cars were mostly 1930 vintage. The road was heavily shingled from just past Springfield, and several of the creeks had not been bridged. Travel time could be anything from 2 hours to 3 hours, depending on conditions. We would arrive with a bit of luck at the car park at the bottom of the bush line just off the main road by about 9 p.m, and in good conditions it was about 1.5 hours up the track to the small huts below the Hamilton Peak face. In heavy snow conditions, it could be 3 hours or more, carrying skis and our weekend supplies.
The heavy snow that we seemed to have in those days often made the gully access dangerous, and it was not uncommon to have to make up to the ski field up the ridge. When we arrived, there could be 2 feet of snow from the previous weekend, and very few people could handle that in the skiing, and it involved packing teams working their way down, forming a track to make it possible to turn.
Saturday morning, steps would be plugged up the gully to the toe skill located where the present top toe now starts. The toe, which I believe was the second club toe built in New Zealand, had been constructed using a 30 horsepower air-cooled Wisconsin engine got from a piece of farm machinery coupled to an Austin gearbox. All second hand, of course.
The materials all had to be carried in, and the petrol often came in at a weekend, and pre-season the rope had to be carried in, which was a very heavy piece of material and involved a party of up to 12 or 15 people strung out like a snake winding their way up the track. Also, equipment items for both the hut and the toe involved slinging heavy pieces on a long pole with 2 or 3 people at either end.
We would be skiing by 10 a.m. in the morning and push it hard until 5 in the afternoon. Saturday night included socialising to all hours, and Sunday was another long day of skiing and then off down the track back to the cars. Usually getting back to town about 10 p.m. or later if we had stopped at Sheffield for a toddy. On Mondays we seemed to be a bit sluggish.